Hi everyone, my name is Bob and I'm a cheap old fart. I like to do DIY jobs around the house for a couple of reasons. I don't like to pay too much, and I kind of like the satisfaction of knowing that I can actually fix some of this stuff. You know, I grew up in an era where it wasn't so easy just to pick up the phone or hop on the internet and bring somebody in and have them do a particular job. In my era, my dad and some of the old timers, first thing they did is they got out their tools, or they took a look at something and they figured it out, and they gave at least an attempt to try to fix stuff before they called somebody in. So I grew up that way, and I find that I have a great advantage over some of the old timers in that I have something called YouTube that allows me to go out, research some things, try to figure out how to do it, and more often than not, I seem to have some success. Doesn't mean to say that sometimes I break stuff, doesn't work right, and then I have to call somebody. But at least I gave it a good try. Couple things. You know, when you call somebody out, you have to pay for them to come out, the visit to your house. A lot of times they do more than just fix what's wrong. They find other things that need to be done, and the job escalates to a lot more than it really should have been. And then, you know, they take the part and they increase maybe 3 or 4-fold what the part should cost. And before you know it, you're paying a lot more money than you should. So I'm here to kind of go over a few things. We'll see if we can't fix some things for you. But also note that, hey, I'm just an average homeowner. I am not a professional. Sometimes we work with water, we work with electricity, we work with some things that, you know, could be dangerous to you or to your home. So just know that you're doing this stuff at your own risk. I'm not a professional. If you want to try it, fine. If not, cheap old fart here. Today's project is my refrigerator. Came home the other day, tried to get myself a nice glass of water, and I attempted to get some water out of the ice maker, and lo and behold, it's coming out, but it's just kind of peeing like an old dude. So we need to do something about that. I don't necessarily want to take all day to get myself a glass of water, so we'll see if we can't fix that. Also, if your water dispenser's really slow like that, or if your ice cubes are smaller than normal, then you may have a problem with what I believe to be the inlet valve. And so I got on YouTube, I took a look at some things, and I found a video by Charlie AF92 who showed me that the problem very well may be an inlet valve. And so I went out to Amazon and I picked up this part here. It is the inlet valve. This is probably, it looks like a Chinese knockoff, and I believe I paid something for 25 bucks for this particular part. So we'll see how it works. So we're gonna hop in there in just a minute. I assembled a few tools that I think I may need. Don't think I'll need the hammer. That's I think that only happens if I get really frustrated. So I have some diagonal cutters here. I have some needle nose pliers, an extra set of cutters if I need them, screwdriver, trusty adjustable wrench. I have my small pair of channel locks, and I also have some blue painter's tape, and the tape is so that I can label the different tubes or white tubes that are going to come out of these particular orifices here. So I want to make sure that I get it labeled properly. Also, there are multiple electrical outlets on here, so that we'll be connecting to. So I just want to make sure that we label everything appropriately when we start the job. So that seems to be it. We'll get everything assembled. We'll get the refrigerator pulled out and ready to go, and I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, folks, first thing, pull your refrigerator out. And if you're like us, you may have little dust bunnies underneath here, you know, but just kind of ignore that. But a couple of important things to note. First thing, let's turn off the valve for the water. So on this particular one, it's just a quarter of a turn. So we've got that taken care of. And next, we don't like to play with electricity, so we're going to unplug the refrigerator from the wall. So at this point, water's turned off, electricity. I'm going to go grab a little pan because it's likely that there'll be some water in the line, and we'll try to make sure that we don't make a mess. So there we go. Okay, first things first, we're going to loosen the water line here, and we're going to remove that. And so I'm just using my my small pair of channel locks to do that. So it makes it easier to get in there. And you can probably see we're starting to get a little water dripping. That's okay. I don't think it's going to be a problem. So there we go. Just about got it here. Here we go. All right, well, so you can see, not too much of a mess, and we got this disconnected. Next step is to remove the panel so that we have access to the inlet valve. Okay, once you get access, you'll need to remove this panel. You'll see some things on here that says that maybe you shouldn't be doing this unless you're a technician, but I'm reading is not my strong suit, so, and part of it's in Chinese, so I don't know what it says. So anyway, I'm going to open this panel. Bunch of Phillips screws. I think there's about 6 of them here, so we'll give it a go and get access to all the internals. So that's 1. That's 2. Three. 4. 5 and 6 down here. We'll put these over in a safe place for safekeeping. And just a matter of lifting up a little bit. There's a couple of tabs down here on the bottom that fits in there. Easy enough to get that off. Pretty self-explanatory. So once you get that off, you'll see that there are several components on my particular refrigerator. You can see that the inlet valve is over here on the right hand side, and there is one screw that is holding this this valve to the frame of the refrigerator. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can get that loose. Looks like the screw that's holding this on is similar size to the other one. Actually, the others are self-tapping. This one has a little washer on it, so it's a little bit different than the others, but so we'll keep that separated over here on this other side. So let's see what we got. See. Okay, at this point we've confirmed that the new inlet valve is like the one that's in there, so it should work. And I've also confirmed that these particular plastic lines, there is a little C-clip that is attaching those to the inlet valve. So the first step that we need to go through is to use our needle nose pliers and pull the C-clip out, and then we should be able to disassemble these white tubes from the inlet valve. So let me grab my needle nose pliers. We'll start that. Once we get that done, we'll begin to label those pieces as we pull them apart. Okay, so let's go ahead. I've got my needle nose pliers. We're gonna grab this first C-clip and see if we can't get a good grip on that and pull that out. And here it is. Here's the C-clip. This is what you're going to be looking for, and that's what's going to hold these little plastic tubes in place. So let's grab that, and voila, this is number one. So I'm going to grab my trusty tape, and I'm going to say, this is going to be front white. That's and if I had a good pen, that would really be a good thing, but I can't even read this. So let me grab a good pen, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, found a pen. You know, let's get rid of that one. So we'll label this one as the front white tube, and we'll put that on there, and we're good to go. We'll kind of tuck this one kind of around out of our way if we can, as best we can. And then the next thing that we come to is an electrical connection, which is on the top. And let's see if I can't wiggle that thing off of there. See if there's any. There we go. Looks like there's a couple of little prongs that kind of hold this on. And just kind of, if you lift up on those little prongs, you'll be able to just slip that off, okay? So we're gonna take this, grab our trusty tape again, and we're gonna call that the front electrical. All right, I guess we know that that's an electrical connection. I guess that's for people like me. Yeah, so anyway, so we've got the front electrical connection turned off, or labeled, and we've got it removed. And this is where it gets a little tricky. I'm going to tuck this back around behind some of this other stuff to get it out of my way. And the next items are a little more difficult to get to. So I'm going to kind of lift this up and see if I can't okay, the next one is appears to be a black connector on the bottom, which will coincide with this black one here on the inlet valve. This one right here where my finger is. So we'll see if we can't get to that clip so that I can remove the clip, and we can remove that particular tube. So needle nose pliers, always a little tougher. Here we go. This one is a little different. You'll see that this is a different size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of assemble these little clips in the order that I take them off. think that'll make it a little bit easier for me. So, all right, so I got that removed, and voila, here's that one. And you'll see that the diameter of this tube is different than the diameter of the first one that I took off. So here we go. We'll label this one, and I'm going to label it middle black. Okay. And okay, well, this is where we're getting a little bit of a mess here because I got some water running out of my one of these lines. So let's see if I can find my little pan, my trusty pan. Let's throw that in there. That'll keep from getting to be too much of a mess there. All right, so 2 down. I think we have 2 more connectors, and 1 more electrical connector from what I can see. So this, oh, hang on. Yeah, no, there's 2 more electrical connectors. I just couldn't see them back there. So next, we're going to go after these next lines here. Next one is a white one. It's on the rear right side when you're looking at it. Let's grab the needle nose again. And I need my little light because my eyes aren't as good as they used to be. Tom. There we go. Okay, and like I said before, I'm kind of putting these in a area here that makes it easier for me. Whoa, and this one is, this is great. It's making a mess everywhere. So, hopefully this water will stop running here. Can you grab me something? My trusty assistant over here maybe can help me with this, because, nope, I need something smaller than that. How about a cup? Or one of those small cups, not a mug, but a cup. No, coffee cup. You know, you get what you pay for. That's not, I want the short one, Jan. There. Okay, warning, when you remove the tube from the rear right one, you're liable to get a flow of water coming out. Good idea to have something to catch that water with, or else you're going to make a bit of a mess like I did. We took a quick pause to clean up our mess, but something that's kind of short, kind of like one of these, not a coffee mug, but a little coffee cup, that worked just fine. Probably filled up 2, maybe 3 of those with water before it stopped. So anyway, no big deal, just a little messy. And we'll go ahead and label that, that tube as the rear white connection. So let's grab this. Now, you know, it very well could be, if you have a good memory, that that you can keep all this stuff straight, because there's not a whole lot of room back there. So there's no way you're going to pull these rear ones up to the front and be able to hook those up. It just doesn't work that way. So let me see if I can't wiggle my gorilla hands back here, and we'll put that on the tube, and we'll label that as such. And then we have one more final tube to take care of. And let me grab my trusty light here so I can see again. And my needle nose pliers. Pull that out. And once again, these two in the back, they're different diameters. So you should not be able to mix those up. So pull this one loose. And voila, it's done. A little bit of water come out with that one as well. So cool. Once you get those loose, I'm not going to worry too much about labeling that one because it's the last one. We'll know where that goes. So, so that leaves it pretty much free to come out. Once again, we have two more, actually make it three more electrical connections on the back. Okay, one is a similar connection to the one from the front, and the others are just kind of single connections that, that should pull out of here. So give me a second here to figure out how these come loose, and we'll pull those loose, and we'll get to assembling the new one. Okay, we've got two different kind of connectors here, electrical connectors on the back. We have one which is a single connector that looks like an H. It was stuck on there pretty good, so I was able to take my needle nose pliers, kind of fit it in here in the middle of this H, and kind of do a little pry job on it. I pried it loose, and then it just came up. So easy enough to get that one off. Haven't got the other ones off yet. I think I may have to kind of pry those up as well. So I'll use my needle nose pliers, and these are different because, oh yeah, easy enough. Okay, well, very good. Yeah, I'm just taking my needle nose, wiggling those off, and as you can see, these are different. These are just single electrical connectors. They're not. They don't look like an H. So what we're going to do is we're going to label those just to make sure that we get those on correctly when we put them back. So very good, and we'll be back with you shortly. Okay, so now we got it. We have everything removed. It's pretty straightforward. You know, we have the clips. Remember the C clips. We need to take care of that. We have all the electrical connectors. We have those labeled so that we'll know where to put those when we come back. There are a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 electrical connections. We've got these two from the way on the way back, and this front one here on the top that we took off at the very beginning, and then just 4 orifices where the different tubes go. So let's, I guess we're going to have to work backwards, you know, on a reassembly. So we'll go ahead. We're going to put the white and the orange in, put the C clips back, and then we'll actually scratch that. We'll go ahead and put the electrical connectors in first, and then we'll work on getting the tubes in. So Very good. Let's go ahead and give this, take a look at this and make sure that we do everything in order. So. Okay, we have the first electrical connection. We have it in. Just wiggling that on there, make sure that it goes in there nice and tight. And let's take a look at these next two connectors. And I just want to make sure that I get those. I don't have anything all twisted in any different way, so I'm just kind of making sure that the wires go in the direction that they want to. So this one says left, so it's going to be right here. And this one is right. I'm going to double check. And left and right. So let's get rid of this tape here. I can leave it. It's not going to hurt anything, so let's go ahead and pop that back on. Get rid of this tape. Don't want it in my way. Okay. Very good. So here we go. We've got this the electrical connectors. We've got those back on. So in the way they were oriented to begin with. So good. Okay, one thing to note when you put these connectors back on, we labeled them very well, but one of the things that I did not do and what I did not label correctly is the which way the connectors go. They can go in either way, and I'm not sure if the polarity matters or not, but I wanted to make sure that we get them right. So if you're looking at the connectors closest to the large connector, the two single connectors, you want to make sure that they are black, then white, and then black, and then brown. So if you put it in that put them in that way, then we should be exactly like they were when they came out. So just note that I messed it up, had to do it a couple times. So we'll give it a go. So the next step is to put those two hoses, the rear hoses, back into the orifices. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and put those in, and give me a second to get oriented here, and then I will join you in just a minute. Okay, the next step is to put the two rear hoses, or the two rear plastic hoses into the orifices in the back. A little bit difficult. I had to lay on my stomach, go in there, reach inside, put them in. Didn't think you wanted to see me do that, but go ahead and put those in. They'll slide in, and then they'll slide in just a little bit more, and then you'll know that they're seated properly. So just you'll have to do that a little bit by feel, but once you do that, then it's time to put the C-clamps back on. So I think the best way to do that is to use our needle nose pliers again, as we situated them earlier. The one on the right hand side is larger than the one on the left, so we'll start with the one on the right, and I'll do that again. Probably shut the camera down while I waller around on the floor and try to get that taken care of. So we'll give it a go. Okay, as you can see, I'm kind of wallowing around on the floor on my stomach trying to get to this. It's not the easiest thing to get to. So at this point, I got the two rear ones in. I got the two C-clips in. The rear electrical connectors are taken care of. They're in. The next is the middle plastic tube, and we're going to go for that one next. We'll put that in, and the C-clip, and then the final one, there'll be two more pieces left, one more plastic tube and one more electrical connection. We should be good to go. So here we go. Middle C-clip in. Final white connector in. And the final electrical connector, you'll notice that they've got two of these like claw type plastic clips. You'll want to orient those toward the top, and then that way you'll know that that's good. So let's go ahead and fish this back in there. And you'll hear that clip in real good. So there we go. We now have all of the connectors in place. Electrical connectors are good. All the plastic tubes are in. And it's time to go ahead and put this back in. And we'll go ahead and grab the screwdriver and we'll adhere this new valve to the refrigerator. Reroute these tubes back inside, like so. All right, now that looks more like it. And let's go ahead and put our cover back on. Remembering to put the slots in the appropriate sections here. They'll slide back down. Adjust this. All right, and just make sure that everything lines up as it should, and we can start putting things together. Okay, I think I was a little hasty trying to put things together. It's always best to give it a try and before you get it all zipped up. I want to be able to look inside here, see if all the tubes are seated properly, that nothing is leaking, and that everything is working as it should before I zip everything up and put all the panels back on. So we're going to move this around. I'm going to hook the water line back up and plug it in, and we'll see what happens. Okay, all right, here is the big test. We'll see if we get any more velocity out of here. Right now we've got nothing. Let's go back on the other side and see when I press this if anything's coming out underneath the refrigerator. Okay, it took a minute or so. I think there was a lot of air in the lines, so let's give it a go. Here we go. And hey, once again, we have water coming out with more velocity, and so no more prostate problems for my my refrigerator. We've got water coming out of the ice maker. I think we are good to go, and I think this is a win. Thanks, folks, for watching. If you liked what we're doing here, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for any new videos that we have coming. Next, we're going to disconnect the line again and put the cover back on, wrap things up, and slide things back, and I think we're good. So I think that's it. I don't think you need to see the rest of this stuff. But anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate you joining in and supporting us here.